from the zone.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
then that way, should we confirm the storyline after h4 rejection?
I told my people. Oh, who is asking? Okay. Okay. I told my people that when it comes to storyline, we didn't actually confirm the storyline before the breakout, right? We didn't confirm the storyline before the breakout. Before the breakout, what I told you guys was there are two types of entries, right? And the entry we used, I told them, is a very risky one, okay? And if you are gonna use it, it's it fails sometimes. It is less probable than an already confirmed storyline. So there are some instances where price, let's say you are on a daily time frame. Um, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good price or this is like a current structure. Let's say you are on a daily time frame, and on other brokers, I think this candle actually got to this point. Other brokers, this candle got to this point. Let me see. I can go on and on. See, it got to that point. Other broker. On and on. No, you didn't. Okay. So I was telling them that, when your H4 level is very far, just as in this very scenario right now. Okay. Hope you guys can hear me clear.
Yeah, bro, it's clear.
All right. As in this very scenario right now, this is, say, a daily reject daily. Okay. So say a daily reject daily, as in this very scenario. Hmm, I don't really know. Okay, so it should be here. As in this very scenario, a daily reject daily, and let's assume this is your whatever CRT. Now, in this case, what does this tell me about, storyline? Now, if you go to the daily, you can see daily has been actively buying. See, daily has been actively buying. Well, let's say from here, has been actively buying all the way to this point. And if you go to weekly, this is Euro USD. Weekly too has been actively buying, but then, okay, this is where we have a weekly reject weekly. This is this week. There's been no breakout here. There's been no breakout here. Okay. Well, this can actually be a breakout on its own. So now in this very scenario where we have a daily reject daily and your and your A daily reject daily, and where your shift is supposed to happen is here, right? I told you guys in a daily bearish storyline, okay, in a daily bearish storyline, your obstacle is a daily support and H4 support, okay? A daily support and H4 support. Yeah, and H4 support. In any time frame you are framing your storyline, that time frame, the opposite direction and the time frame that is confirming the storyline shall be your obstacle. Okay, now in this very scenario, what I'm trying to say is this. In a daily bearish storyline, where is your obstacle? Your obstacle is, I don't know, your obstacle is a daily support. And if you have H4 support, H4 support 2 can also be your obstacle. All right. But your question is, can we start a daily storyline without, the H4 confirmation breakout, right?
Yes, that's the question.
Okay. Now, in this very scenario, why I told them they can actually use that, I told them we have two types of entries. One is the one that the H4 has already given you, or the one time frame below has already given you a breakout. We are using daily now, so permit me to use H4 consistently. So now when H4 has given you a breakout, that is another entry type. That is the first entry type. Now, the second entry type is the one that H4 has not given you a breakout, which is when we talked about this, right? So here we have a daily reject daily and H4 apex with liquidity grab. Okay. Now, in this case, you can only use it, hear me out, you can only use it if the next candle is coming into this level. Now, this is like a very good, a very good push to the downside because it engulfed this candle, engulfed this, and also engulfed this. This is a very good push. And should the next candle come, and I would have actually wanted to see maybe something like this, something like this, something like this. And this is why I don't like using higher time frame. Okay. I would want to see something like this. Personally, if I am to take this very setup, you don't just take it blindly. I would want to see something like this. Okay. Correct. Sure. Okay. Something of this nature. Right. Am I even correct? No, I'm not. Something of this nature. Or maybe lower. Okay. You can even do like this. Before I take this very setup, I would like to first of all confirm it. Now, in this very scenario, we are using internal structure. Okay, we are using internal structure. Now, this is it. This becomes your entry. You guys have seen me take this type of entries countless times. And this becomes your inducement. Okay, you can decide to, candle can be like, the candle wick can be like this. This becomes your inducement. Now, this is happening on H4 time frame. This is happening on H4 time frame. I did not say H1. I did not say 30 minutes. I did not say 2 hours. This is on the one time frame lower than your storyline time frame. Guys, are we clear? On one time frame lower below your storyline time frame, which is your H4 time frame. Okay, that is only when you apply this. Now, this is because if you are to wait for price to come all this way, all the way to this point, okay, now you already have this very level. This is where you should be looking for to pay yourself first, because this is an obstacle to the daily storyline. This is where you are going to take your partials. This is an obstacle to the daily storyline. A daily reject daily, H4 apex level. You take your entry from here, probably with your stop above the CRT, above this liquidity sweep, right? Or above the whole of that level. Okay. So that is why that is the only scenario. You don't just come, or there are instances where price will not give you all these things. Okay. There are instances where price will not give you these things. Hold on. There are instances where price will not give you these things. And it will just go ahead. The next candle will just come, tap into it, and then sell. The next candle is supposed to start from here. Okay. The next candle will just come, tap into it. I've studied it. It's usually with a little bit longer wick. So it will just come, tap into it, and then start selling immediately. It happens. And it doesn't mean you cannot trade it. And like I told you guys, it is a very risky entry type. It is a very risky type of entry. Okay, so if you are going to take it, be prepared to lose. If you're supposed to lose 1% per trade, be prepared to risk. Sorry, if you're supposed to risk 1% per trade, be prepared to risk just half of that money, 0.5. Because there is no strong high. There is no strong high. This is what I mean by a strong high. I don't know what's wrong with my mouse. Sorry. This is what I mean by a strong high. Something like this. And then you have your breakout. Now, in this scenario, you don't have a strong high. You just have an apex level, unlike here. Now, this is a confirmed storyline. Daily reject daily, H4 breakout. Okay, but in this scenario, it has not been confirmed. There is no breakout. Here, why you have this is just an OCL. This is this is an open close. That is why that line chart is bent. Okay, this is an open close. This is an open close. But here, if you have gotten this after the breakout, whether you are using daily, weekly, monthly, then it means your storyline has been confirmed. Now, you don't have to worry about using internal structures like this when you have only just this. When you have this already. But if you have this, you should be looking at internal structures like this, or you should be looking at entries like this. Guys, hope you understand what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, bro,
Hello,
it's clear.
hello guys. Not just you, I'm talking to others as well. So only 3 people are around. Okay, so you understood. Only 3 people are around. All right, no problem. So that is it, guys. That is the only scenario where you will use this, where you will use um this very analog or this very entry type, without the confirmation of the storyline. All right. Now, someone said, do you all understand the concept of storyline? Or do you want me to shed more light on it? Do you guys understand the concept of storyline, or you want me to shed more light on it?
If you could shed more light, would be my preference.
Who said I should shed more light on it?
Nepotism.
Okay, okay, no problem. Now, storyline, like I told you guys already, what's happening? Okay, like it's just the movement of MSNR, just the movement of price between two opposing directions, from a support to a resistance or from a resistance to a support. Now, and I told you guys that in MSNR, we trade storylines. That is the movement of price from one time frame to another. Okay. Now, I also told you guys that in storylines, we only use higher time frames. And what do we consider higher time frames? Okay. We consider daily, weekly, and monthly time frames. Okay. I sometimes use 3 months, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. What we basically use is daily, weekly, and monthly time frame. All right. That's what we use for storylines. Okay. We don't go lower than this. We do not use H4, H2, 2 hours. We do not use 2 hours for storyline. We do not use 1 hour, and we don't, most importantly, don't use these levels for storyline. Okay. We only use daily, weekly, and monthly time frames to frame our storyline. And now, what does it mean to have a storyline, bullish or bearish? Now, a storyline is the rejection. Say you are using daily time frame. Now, let's just use daily time frame for the whole of this analogy, okay? Now, a storyline is daily rejecting from a daily key level. And I explained to you guys what key levels mean. Key levels are all the SNR, traditional SNR levels. And I told you guys what these traditional SNR levels mean. Apex, V-level, OCL, RBS, SBR, QML, or left shoulder. Now, those are levels. They are 6 in number. Those are the levels, where if price reject from them, where if price reject from them, we can now start, looking for a breakout on H4. Okay, like in this very scenario, this is daily rejecting from a daily OCL. Okay, now there is no storyline yet until you confirm the storyline, which is this breakout here. We do not use OCLs for our breakout. We do not use open close for breakout. We use pure structure. It could be internal structure, it could be external structure. All right. Internal structure, let's say there is another structure here, provided on your line chart, even if it's small, provided on your line chart, you have something like this. Provided on your line chart, you have something like this after the breakout, and you are on one time frame lower than the storyline time frame. Provided you have something like this, you have your breakout. But here, when you go to your line chart, you don't have any such thing. So there is no breakout yet, and there is no daily storyline yet. Guys, are we clear? That is what storyline is all about, okay? And that is how you confirm a storyline. So now after this daily reject daily and H4 closes below this level, the closure is with a candle body, not the wick. It has to be with a bearish closure like this, candle body, not the wick. So if price comes and does something like this, right? If price comes and does something like this, even if the wick is this long, but still closed above this very line, you do not have a storyline. This storyline has not been confirmed. You can actually still look for your buy entries here. You can actually still look for your buy entries here. This storyline has not been confirmed. But if you have this, even if it's as tiny as this, provided it has closed below that level, you have a confirmed storyline. You can now start looking. You go down to your daily time frame to look for your daily structure. And from that daily structure, first of all, mark that daily structure for your entry. You first of all prioritize daily structure for your sell entries. Do not start marking H4 first. Do not start marking H4 first. Okay. You don't say now we have RBS here, SBR here. So start looking to place your entry here. No, don't do that. Go to your daily time frame Now, where do you have first daily structure? Is here. Is here. You can just mark the whole of this level. You literally have like 2 levels here. Okay. You can just mark this level. Right? This is SBR. This is SBR. This is normal apex level. Okay. These are the 2 levels you have here. This should be your first priority. And also you have here as well. This is on the daily time frame. Should also be another priority, right? And when you go to H4, these are the levels you'll be considering. These are the levels you'll be considering for your cell continuation. And you don't just enter blindly. You have to wait for your inducement. Always wait for your inducement. Okay? Always wait for your inducement. It's very, very important. Inducement is very, very important. Okay. So that is what storyline is about. It is tries rejecting from a daily key level, from a daily level, and then giving you a breakout. Now let's just look for something. Let's look for something. Let's look at this level. Guys, now look at this. Even if you don't want to use that. Okay, I'll still show you guys another example. Now look at this. This is a daily structure. This is a daily structure. And this is daily rejecting of a daily structure. Okay. And I told you guys, this is a daily rejection of a daily structure. Now I told you guys that rejecting does not mean rejection. Rejecting means you are still in that trading day. It means, let's say this is today's candle. It means this candle has not actually closed. That is rejecting. But rejection is this candle has closed fully. Okay, now this is price rejection from this daily apex level. Okay, now you go to your H4. Now this is your 4 hours time frame. Now where will you need the breakout to occur before you confirm the storyline? This very level. Even though this is a minor structure, this is an internal structure because the major structure is here. And personally, I'll be looking for buy setup here. Okay, or say somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. So this is an internal structure. And that is where you will need your breakout to occur before you confirm this storyline. You already have a daily reject daily. What else do you need?
For breakout.
Okay. Now you have your type 2 entry. You have your type 2 entry, just like I showed you guys in that example. This is a daily reject daily. First of all, before the breakout, you have your type 2 entry. This is your type 2 entry. Okay. This is your
Bro,
type 2 entry.
there is no liquidity sweep on.
Now, this is your inducement. Is someone trying to ask a question?
Okay.
Now, this becomes your inducement. This is the kind of setup I most times use because I don't have the patience of waiting for price, to miss all the move to all the way to this level. I had this kind of setup on Euro NZD, and yeah, it was a sell setup too. Okay, so now this is it. You just come, place your entry here. Your nearest target, you can decide to put your stop above this high. Your nearest target should be this level. Okay, this is your nearest target because if price fails to close below these two levels, then this storyline will not hold. Price will just keep buying. When we start talking about structures, I'll tell you guys why. Okay, when we start talking about structures, I'll tell you guys why. So now in this, look at what actually happened. You see, it just tapped right into it and immediately dumped. Right. It dumped immediately. There is also another method of confirming a storyline. Okay. There's also another method of confirming a storyline. Now you can see this level has been broken, but for safety purposes, you have to wait for this level to also break. For safety purposes, you have to wait for this level to also break. Why would you want to wait for this level to also break? Now, I trade this, and I trade mostly liquidity. And I told you guys before this that I'll be taking my entry somewhere around here or even this level, right? Because this is only fresh level. This has been consumed. But let me take a demonstration. This V level has been consumed. It's only this OCL and this RBS that are still fresh. Okay, and this shall form your liquidity inducement. This shall form your inducement. Okay. Now, for you to be safe, you have to wait for price to close because this is the major structure. I told you guys this is a minor structure. This is the major structure. See, this is a structure, this is a structure, this is a structure, not this. This is the structure, not this. This is a structure, not this. Okay. Now, and from what you can see, price tapped into this level. You can see it. Price just tapped right into it, and let's see what happens. You've already gotten like how many RR here? Because your TP was, you can decide to hold all the way to your entry point, but it's advisable to pay yourself here. Okay. See, you can decide to hold all the way to this level and then start taking another buys. But if this level gets rejected, or if this level gets violated, it means your storyline, which started from here, has now become valid. You are now in a daily bearish storyline, sorry. You are now in a daily bearish storyline. I want to reiterate this thing as much as possible. as many times as possible because I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, we trade liquidity too, liquidity inducement too. Okay, and this is your major structure. This too is your major structure. If you go to your line chart, you see it. This is your structure. This is your structure. This is your, shift. This is your shift. And this is your QML. Okay. This is your shift and this is your QML. So these are the major structures. Now, when I'm marking this, you didn't see me mark here. Now, for this structure to fail, for you to have a shift, let's say from this very level, for you to have a shift, you will need price to come. You will need price to come from here, break this very level. Sorry. For you to have a shift, you will need price to come from here, break this very level. Okay, but instead, price did not do that. But then it continued moving to the upside. And after this BOS here, for you to have a shift, you will need price to come break this level. This is a major structure. When I say break, I mean closing below it, because this is a major structure. Okay, I'm not talking about, there might be something here, probably an OCL, but this is your major structure, this is your major structure, this is your major structure. This is a minor structure because it is internal. This is inside. It is internal. It did not break any level. It did not break any major structure above. It's internal. Okay, that is why I'm waiting for price. So for me to confirm this very storyline, I will need price to come take out this major structure. And then I'll start looking for my sales. I'll say, yeah, perfect. We are now in a daily bearish storyline. Okay, we are now in a daily bearish storyline. But let's just see what price did. So, but price started buying from here. And let's see. So, you see the reaction. Another one. See the break, the complete break. Now, it did not only break this level, it took this one too, and even took this one. And even took this one. Okay? So you can be rest assured, yeah, I am now in a daily bearish storyline. So I can now start buying. I can now start selling some. Okay. So this level was your obstacle. This level is another obstacle. Your obstacles can be anywhere of this level. This OCL, this OCL, this OCL, these two. Right. So that is how you confirm a storyline. And yeah, if you had actually missed another one here, if you had missed this entry here, you could have also gotten another one from here. From here, this becomes your inducement. And if you had missed this one, I'm talking about this, and if you had missed that one, you have these two. Okay, so now let's go to the daily. Let's see what those levels are. Now you see this entry is from an OCL level. Okay, this entry is from an OCL level. Had it been this candle got to this point, then we might actually have another daily reject daily, ultimately confirming the bearish move. Okay, so that is how you mark your storyline, and that is how you actually, now if you were waiting for this level to, to break out before taking the setup, you could have missed out on this move. This is 15R, you could have missed out on this move. Okay, I think I took this trade. I think I did. I shared it in the group, in that community. I think I did. I did. Okay. But I did not take these ones. So this is an opportunity. This too is an opportunity. This here too is an opportunity. Why am I saying that? This is your liquidity grab. This is your fresh apex level. This is your fresh apex level. This too is a fresh apex level. Although there is no liquidity here, but you can actually take the entry from there. Okay, you can actually take that entry from there. Now, when you look at here, okay, when you look at these levels, there is actually no area of consideration here, and why you should be looking for reversals here. But then it's just on the H4. I already told you guys on the H4. H4 is an obstacle to the daily storyline. Daily is an obstacle. Daily levels are obstacles to the weekly storyline. Weekly levels and daily levels are obstacles to the weekly storyline. Okay, daily levels. Okay, yeah, daily levels and H4 levels are obstacle to the daily storyline. Let me write it down. Okay. Daily storyline. Obstacles. H4. H4 levels. And daily levels. Okay. Now, weekly storyline obstacles. Um, daily levels and weekly levels and daily levels. Okay. Now, monthly storyline obstacles. Okay, base monthly levels and weekly levels. Okay. So I hope this is clear enough. I hope this is clear enough. So in your daily storyline, your obstacles are H4. Say you are in a daily bearish storyline, your obstacle should be H4 daily bearish storyline, H4 support and daily support. And I told you Support could be OCL. It could be inverse OCL. It could be QML. It could be RBS. Okay, it could be RBS. Yeah, it could be left shoulder. Left shoulder is a QML. So those are the obstacles of a daily storyline. Weekly storyline, the obstacles of a weekly storyline. What do I mean by obstacles? Obstacles are the levels, your exit point or possible turning point of price. Okay. Obstacles are possible turning point of price. A possible turning point price. Okay. And since it is possible that price will turn from those levels, we reverse possible turning point of price, possible reversal point. Okay, since it's possible that price will reverse from those levels, so it is very, very paramount that you take out some of your position. Now you see, let's take this level for instance. Let's take this level for instance. You see, or this level rather, because this is where I told you guys I would be looking for a buy. Right? This is my inducement, this is my buy entry. Now, if I had let's say I did not exit here and price actually came, tapped my entry, tapped my buy into this level and has not broken through here. Okay, so I told you guys it's always important for you to let the first one break and the second one to break for you to confirm the shift or the breakout. Okay, say I did not take out any position here and I was waiting to say, this is a swing trade. I'm going to hold all the way to this point. So price might just, when it gets to this point, reverse and the bullish momentum continues. Okay. So this is another method of confirming your storyline. Also, this is one method of confirming your storyline. Also, there is another method of confirming your storyline. Okay. And that will be something like this. That will be something like let's clear this. That would be something like this. Now, I am actually very, very unsure if this is a bullish or bearish candle. So that's a very indecisive candle. This is another method of confirming your storyline. Daily reject daily. This is a break of structure. This is a break of structure. Before waiting for price to come to take an external swing point, external structure for you to confirm the break. This is a break of structure. For you to confirm the shift, you can call it shift, transition, breakout. Okay. This is a break of structure. And if price has given you this, because why is it a break of structure? Why is it a break of structure? Normal, if my previous student will know this is my typical entry technique. My previous students know this is my typical entry technique. Right? And you have this apex, this V level. This is it. You have this V level. So now you're waiting for price. This is your CRT low. This is your CRT high. But why did this fail? We'll still discuss this when we enter candle range theory. But why did this fail? We have a major higher time frame key level here that has been contacted. So once you are buying and price contact a major higher time frame key level, start thinking twice if you are still going to keep buying or not until you get a confirmation to continue buying or selling, depending on the position you are holding. Okay, now this is my typical setup, and I will be looking to get my buy entry here. So which means this is a valid point. This is a valid level. Now price comes, breaks it. This is one candle, this is another. Now you have an RBS. RBS level, do you have anything on the daily? Okay, that's on the daily. Now you have RBS level, H4 apex, H4 fresh apex 2. And with the concept of inducement, you see, you will check all these levels. Now let's look at the next H4 candle. See? Now, if you had wanted to sell from here, you would have gotten, price would have violated your setup immediately. If you wanted to sell from here and then maybe put your SL above here, you would have gotten a trade, but it would not be a sniper. You would have, encountered a significant drawdown. But if you wanted to sell from this level, let's know if we can refine on H1. Okay, this is the only level on H1. 2 hours, still the same thing. Now, if you wanted to sell from here, okay, I'm showing you guys another method of confirming a storyline without waiting for the external swing point structure or swing structure to get taken. Okay, because doing so, you would miss most of the moves that have happened in the market. Okay, so now this is another area. You had your breakout here. Okay, I'll still show you guys another example of this. So here now, you take your entry from here, this forms your inducement. And then where are you buying to on the daily time frame? Where are you buying to? First of all, this is on fresh level. This RBS is on fresh. You take your first profit here. You take, okay, you take your first profit here. All right. This is where you're gonna have your first take profit. This is that will be how many R? Sorry, that will be how many RR? Your entry is from here. Guys, hope we are following. Hello, guys. Hope
Yes, bro.
hope we are following. Are we following? Am I too fast?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay. So here, you had your entry, and where did I tell you is your first exit point? Can set with your stop right above this level or so. You can just make it 5 pips. You can just make it 5 pips. Target here first. This is your first obstacle. Not only is it a daily OCL, but it is also H4 RBS. Okay. And what did I tell you guys about obstacles? Daily key level and H4 key level, because we're using a daily storyline. Okay, storyline has been confirmed here. We did not wait for this structure. This is another method. This is the first method, which is structural, external structure. This is another method, internal structure. Okay. See, this is the breakout. This is the breakout. It's obvious. This is internal structure. This is the BOS. It is not a shift, a change of character, a change in character. This is a BOS, is another method of confirming a storyline. Okay. Now we wait for price. Okay. This is where you're gonna pay yourself. First, take profit. Okay. This is your first take profit. The first take profit has been hit, and price actually closed. Did it? Price actually closed below that level. Price closed below that level. So which means the next candle that is coming is, this is not fresh. Storylines can start from an unfresh level. Don't get me wrong. Storylines can start from an unfresh level, but this is the only fresh level we have. You can see this has been consumed. This RBS has been consumed. This is unfresh. This has not been consumed. This has been consumed, but this V level has not been consumed. Okay. Now, since this one has been taken out, where else would you be looking for price, where else would you be looking to pay yourself? This is another fresh level here. So you can decide to hold your position all the way to that point. You can decide to hold your position all the way to that point. See, ultimately, the profit was actually hit. And that is how you confirm the storyline. I'll still teach you guys how to take continuation trades. Okay. Now you also have this level. This is fresh with a liquidity sweep. This is fresh with a liquidity sweep. Remember, you're already in a daily bullish and bearish storyline. Okay. This is fresh with a liquidity sweep. This high too was also taken out. That high too was also taken out. Now you mark this level. Wait for some, form of confirmation, right? There is your first confirmation. Now, this is another confirmation. Let's see. See. Now, these 1, 2, 3 candles didn't actually get to this point. So you use them as inducement liquidity. Now, say you missed this point. This is another one. You can decide to go to 2 hours. You can decide to go to 2 hours or H1. After that H4 rejection, well, I don't really know if it's there on H1 or 30 minutes. But before going down to a lower time frame, just make sure you mark the higher time frame level first. Okay. So this is the level we'll be looking to have another cell from. Remember, it is fresh on H4, but not fresh on 2 hours. It is irrelevant. What matters is that it is fresh on H4. That is the most important thing. What matters is that your higher time frame is fresh. Any time frame lower, which is on fresh, is irrelevant. Okay, so you can just place your entry there, take another setup from here. You can decide to put your SL somewhere around here also, 5 pips too. Where is your ultimate target? Around here. Okay. See? And yeah, that is just it. And it ended up giving you more. See, you had this one here. You had this one here. How many RR? Let's say above that. You had this one here. Let's say you were also holding this very position. Now, how many RR is that? This is 24. This is 13. And this is 12. Okay? Do the math. That's how many percent gain. That's how many percent gain. Okay.
49.
49. You see? So that is how you scale these things. It's not, something you start guessing. It's not something you start guessing. And as you are scaling daily structures, also do not forget weekly. See, as you are selling from these levels, do not forget you have a weekly level here. Do not forget you have a weekly level here. Higher time frame is king. Even if you're on a daily key level, also consider weekly levels too. Consider monthly levels too. If you're on daily storyline, consider weekly levels too. Consider monthly levels too. Okay? Guys, do we understand? And is this thing clear at all? Do you still need me to, say anything more about storyline and stuff?
It's clear, brother.
Is it clear? Hariha, sorry. All clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's clear. Nepotism.
Yes, but I think I need to rewatch. Still a bit
Oh,
confused.
If you
But
have,
it's late at night. I have to
if
rewatch.
you don't have any previous knowledge when it comes to MSN, right?
Yes. No
Okay,
previous.
okay. That's understandable. So just rewatch the video, and if you have any more questions, you know where to find me. Okay, you know where to find me. My DM is always open. So, all right. So, guys, that is it about storyline. And yeah, I think that's just it. So, another thing, what are we also supposed to look at today? What are we also supposed to look at today? We're supposed to look at Okay, we've already treated obstacles, storylines, and obstacles. We're supposed to look at advanced market structure. Advanced market structure. All right, I think I'm gonna stop this recording here and start recording a new one so it doesn't get boring when you're watching it.